So before we wanted you to come full circle, and now we want you to net zero or be a net zero hero. We're talking about renewable energy technologies and sustainable energy development with our net zero heroes, represented by Terrell Thomas, a CSE student, and of course, Mr. Greg Manohar, giving us some insight on behalf of renewable energy trainer for Renew TT. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I am excited because when we talk about renewing energy and we have the youth doing it, it means we are on the right path. So Greg, jumping straight into the discussion, tell me, first off, who's Renew TT and what sort of organization is it?
So Renew TT is a non-governmental organization, and we focus on education for students in terms of renewable energy. So we're a renewable energy company, and we do training for students in renewable energy. Some of the content we would have taught, we start off with the basics, what is energy, and we move into different types of things. We talk about carbon footprint, we talk about the electricity bills, how to read electricity bills, and we touch on all the different forms of renewable energy: solar, wind, hydro, tidal, biomass, even geothermal. And the students get an insight into all of them.
Beautiful. So it sounds like you're equipping them with all the right tools to make the world a better place, quite literally.
Definitely, definitely.
So what makes them a net zero hero then?
So as part of the course, we would teach them the goals from the Paris Agreement that we want to attain by 2050. We want to reach net zero, which means that your carbon footprint is not contributing to global warming anymore. So you'll be net zero. You'll not be adding anymore, but you'll be using and saving the same amount at the same time.
Sounds great. And something we could all get behind, but as somebody who's actually doing it, Terrell, tell me a little bit as to what the experience has been like for his stuff, from being exposed to the concept and then actually being charged with the task of being a net zero hero.
Not only was it educational, but it was a very interactive session, so you got a hands-on experience of basically what you need to know. And you had a very great comprehensive exploration of the topic, and it served as a catalyst for you want to change and you want to partake in changing the environment, renewable energy and environmental sustainability.
Beautiful. Sounds like some of those conversations went home as you had to educate your parents and others, I imagine.
Yes.
Because one of the things you mentioned was the actual reading of your light bill and things like those details.
Yes, we went through that as part of the course, and how to do the calculation and look at aspects of where you could save and see your actual savings.
Sounds like you need to be a net zero hero outside of the schools. But this being the inaugural part of the project, at least the first school that we're doing, so tell me a little bit about what you expect the students to actually show or display coming out of the program.
So coming out of the program, we want the students to become advocates for renewable energy and being energy savvy and being able to save their energy and educate their peers, their parents, and it goes up the chain, you know?
Right.
So that's what we started with the youth.
Okay. Now, Terrell, tell me, have you been able to do that thus far? Have you been able to connect with persons and have them understand things very easily?
I have, because as someone who wants to start a non-profit organization where the niche of it is environmental sustainability, this program really helps with that and make me want to continue to do that. So, yeah.
So let's backtrack a little bit. You're in class and this concept is presented to you, let's say by a teacher or to opt in or opt out. What was your initial thought when you heard of it then?
Honestly, it was simple at the start because they started with easier topics such as different types of renewable energy. So as a bio student, I would be familiar with that.
Right.
And they went from more difficult topics such as conducting your own energy audits to the Trinidad and Tobago Paris Agreement. So yeah, it was a guideline. It was a journey.
It was a journey. Now the journey continues, and as you're saying, the intent is to be able to go out there and speak to people, evoke the same sorts of change and wave that you have elsewhere. Now you mentioned you want to do your own NGO almost to create that same sort of change. How do you think this is going to help somebody who isn't as ambitious as you, just wants to make better choices and impact their community? What would you say to them this morning?
Well, the future is energy, the future is renewable energy, and if you want to create a sustainable, proper future where healthy children and healthy environment, then I would say energy and renewable energy is very important. So.
Well, Greg, it sounds like we definitely have to come outside of the classroom because persons who may not have been exposed to these sorts of conversations in school still need the information. How can we get in touch with Renew TT?
You can find Renew TT on our webpage, renewtt.org. and you can find us there, and all our contact information is there.
Now, when we get onto that website, does it mean that we have the option to explore courses or information presented in a similar fashion, or do we just get the opportunity to ask you guys to come into communities? How will it work?
To come into communities and stuff. Because right now, this program is sponsored by the Republic Bank as part of their Power to Make a Difference program. So hopefully we do expand it. We're looking to expand it to other schools. We started us with a school in the north, and we're looking to expand to a school in the east, and I think one at the south.
Right.
So we started with them first. So they were the only school, and then we're hoping to do 2 schools in the next academic year. So we're still trying to look at secondary schools and promote this for secondary schools.
Now, beyond the secondary schools, and as you said, coming into communities, we will see that change, we will hear the information. But now, in terms of the span of the project itself, we understand that they're getting work, or rather information in school, so maybe some homework, some projects that can actually be delivered. What other forms are we taking to share this information? How else is it interactive?
So at CIC is getting a system installed at their school, a solar system, a fallback system for their library. So if electricity goes, the library will have power. So that's part of the community initiative. It will be seen, it will be visible. People ask questions, hey, what's that? And you can get education. And then the students now can do that type of education, being able to talk about it.
Now, Terrell, you're always going to be the person I'm coming to, or they're coming to as part of the project. You are going to be giving information on this particular tangible object in the school, but do you look forward to seeing, or are there other items you look forward to seeing integrated into the school that help to continue that quest?
I'm really excited to see incorporating solar panels and renewable energy in the school. So yeah, just basically just stopping the use of fossil fuels, etc.
So we have heard it from the mouth of babes, as they like to say, what is going to come of it, and we know exactly how to find you. If we were to look at the coming years, future projects, I know you say expanding into other schools, are there any other ways that we're going to see Renew TT present this information elsewhere?
Oh, definitely. We're looking at probably doing an adult course, but that's in the works, hopefully, yes.
And in that case, we head to the website to find out more, I suppose.
Yes.
Right. Now, Cyril, I'm making you the ambassador unofficially. But granted that you mentioned you wanted to do your own initiative, we are talking about a young person aspiring. Tell me what you would say to the older persons in your community who may not be as receptive because they are used to fossil fuel, they see it worked for them. What would be your deciding factor or your convincing factor to convert somebody to this way of thinking?
Change. Just change is the most important thing in life. Like, the world is always updating at a rapid pace. So staying up to date and helping future generations. If they want to see future generations, then I would say change. Change is the most important thing.
I want to vote for Terrell for anything that he's doing, like, generally. And granted that you say change means that you need to stay updated. What are the resources that you use most to do so?
Well, Renew TT was a very good catalyst for that update. I do my own research, basically, just update myself, my biology teachers, geography teachers. Yes, St. Mary's College has a good environmental club, etc. So.
Good morning to the Environmental Club. And to those of you who are looking on that may not be a part of it, of course, Renew TT, give us the information again to find you guys online.
Yeah, renewtt.org, all our information will be there.
And we're on the socials as well?
We're on the socials at Renew T Anti, but re with a dash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Renew TT is a relatively young organization in the grand scheme of things. You're telling me that we are going to grow, we're going to go into communities. We do have the projects that give us tangible things like we're seeing with the solar panels in CIC. Are there any more cats you can let out of the bag that we, outside of the school system, can enjoy or participate in at least?
For the community, not just yet. What we're looking at.
I do think, though, that light bill reading and understanding how to calculate electricity will be a heavy hitter. So look out for that one on the website for now. But other than that, are there any other parting thoughts that you want to share with the nation, Greg, as we get ready to wrap things up?
Oh, definitely. We need to work on saving our energy, and with the light bill increase that is scheduled to come, I'm not sure it's here yet, it's a good way to look at saving your energies. Simple things like unplugging your devices, looking at when you leave your rooms, unplug your, turn off your lights,
right.
Switch to LEDs, update your devices if you can afford, because old devices use more energy, newer devices more efficient. You know, look at things like that to help reduce your electricity usage.
So Renew TT is making sure that we are getting closer to being net zero heroes, all of us, starting with students like Terrell Thomas, who we say thank you very much for joining us this morning, and of course the other students at the CIC school altogether being exemplary and striving towards being net zero heroes. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this morning and inspiring us. And hopefully you at home are inspired too. Remember to check them out online. Renew TT is what you're looking for everywhere. And get ready to be a net zero hero yourself. We got entertainment after the break. So the Now Morning Show is going to wrap finally, fantastically, and you do not want to miss it. Come back after these messages.
Cannot confuse me, cannot reduce me to who you think that I am. You may not understand.